Oh, it's real. It's damn real. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Chat. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Gershon. This week we're discussing the bombshell that we just saw over on NXT from WWE television. And that is the fact that the juggernaut Jordynne Grace appeared on NXT as the secret mystery opponent for the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. And that's going to happen at NXT Battleground pay-per-view coming up. So yes, she is going to challenge for the NXT Women's Championship for WWE. The TNA Knockouts World Champion, Jordynne Grace. How awesome is that? Now, Jordynne Grace, of course, did appear in the Royal Rumble earlier this year, back in, January? And yeah, that was at a time when TNA was kind of riding a high. Things were going so well. They had the big name change from Impact to back to TNA. And, Jordynne Grace was appearing at the Royal Rumble. And morale was high, attendance was going up, had huge pay-per-view buys for the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. That was one of the biggest in their entire history. Then, of course, Scott D'Amore got fired, and the morale just went way down. But now, things are going to be heading in the right direction, I think. Now, there is going to be some more positive buzz for TNA now, thank God, because it seems like every time TNA does something great and we hear great things and positive news about them, there's always something negative right after, But I remember when she appeared in the Royal Rumble, I was just like, oh, so excited. And you think about all the possibilities of what a crossover between WWE and TNA could be, And, after a few months went by, I just, forgot about it, Because that's what happens. We gotta move on to the next cool thing, I just thought it was a one-shot deal after a while when nothing happened, and then bam, this happens, and you're like, wow, there really is something to this relationship between WWE and TNA, and I think it's really, really cool. And I have to say, Jordynne Grace just gave me chills when she said, back a couple months ago, you might remember me from the Royal Rumble. If you don't, let me formally introduce myself. I am Jordynne Grace, the TNA Knockouts Champion. And she said that with such pride and vigor and enthusiasm and the utmost confidence. And I love that, and that made me so proud as a fan of TNA wrestling. And I know so many people are talking about, as soon as her TNA contract is up, she's going to be done with TNA and she's going to join WWE. And I'm sure WWE wants her bad, And that seems obvious to me. But I don't know if Jordynne Grace would be so quick to do that. I think she actually does love being the TNA Knockouts Champion and representing TNA, the underdog company. And that makes me happy. If she does go to WWE, great, I wish her nothing but the best, and I know she would be a huge star. But I think she can be a huge star regardless. While working for TNA, if this partnership continues, she could win the NXT Women's Championship and defend it in WWE NXT and at TNA. Why not? It could be win-win for both companies, and the fans would be invested. They'd be so excited. They'd tune into TNA too. If Roxanne Perez comes over to TNA and challenges Jordynne Grace again, or somebody else comes in from WWE and challenges Jordynne Grace for the NXT and maybe the TNA Knockouts Championship as well, could be on the line. Who knows? There's all kinds of possibilities, and of course, it could open up more possibilities if the door swings both ways. Drew McIntyre sent out a tweet that, hey, the door swings both ways, and they showed a picture of him back when he was the TNA World Champion, Hey, why not? And also, of course, the biggest possibility is AJ Styles coming in and having his last match. But, you know, of course that's a dream. We don't know if that could ever happen. But, hey, stranger things have happened. We never thought we'd see Jordynne Grace in an NXT ring for WWE. I can't imagine anybody thought that. This was one of the biggest surprises in a long time that nobody knew about. So props to WWE for keeping it under wraps, because, you know, nothing about this was said anywhere, leaked anywhere. There were no leaks, nothing. She came in and it was just a huge shock. You know, nobody saw that coming. So yeah, we got Against All Odds for TNA coming up in mid-June. So something big, I feel like, is going to happen there with it, you know. I think we might see something happen with it. We might see Roxanne Perez come over and, you know, I accept your challenge, and maybe she'll even be like, you know, what do I stand to gain from this? How about you put the TNA Knockouts Championship on the line too? So that would be cool. You know, I feel like that's how a good way for it to work, you know. Because, you know, Roxanne Perez has wrestled in an Impact ring before. She did wrestle Deonna Purrazzo a couple years ago. And I think that was for the AAA Reina de Reinas title, if I remember. So yeah, she does have a little bit of history there. So yeah, maybe she'd want to get her hands on that TNA Knockouts champion. But anyway, this was so cool, and I know that WWE has stated that, I guess, there is going to be more possibilities in the future. At least for Jordynne Grace there will be, you know. And, you know, she is going to be on this pay-per-view, and she is going to be on TV, I believe it was next week. Having a match too against, I forget her name, but one of the other girls in NXT. Kind of a warm-up match for Jordynne Grace to, you know, show why she is the TNA Knockouts Championship and what we have to look forward to in that match at NXT Battleground. So looking forward to that. So thank goodness I had the Peacock channel. I can watch it too. But this is awesome news for TNA. It's awesome news for the WWE and NXT as well. So it's going to be awesome. Win-win on all counts. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Urshan, the Pro Wrestling Chat. Tune in and lock up.